Warm greetings to all of you. Welcome back to Love and Life, the channel that shares knowledge for holistic self-development through great books. There was a man like this. He had great ambition, yet his mother mocked him. The books he writes will only be good for wrapping tobacco, she said. He was exceptionally gifted, independent from an early age, and showed penetrating powers of thought and observation. As a young man, he finished the work, later hailed as a masterpiece of philosophy, The World as Will and Representation. Yet for more than half his life, nothing went smoothly. Peers envied him, people quietly boycotted him, and few read his books. Only after the age of 60 did an English critic notice his work. Once published anew, he became famous worldwide. This man endured indifference and solitude for more than half a lifetime. He spent his life at odds with the mainstream, yet kept walking firmly to his own rhythm. He is the great German philosopher whose influence runs through business, literature, psychology, and physics, touching figures such as Nietzsche, Wagner, Freud, and Einstein. Arthur Schopenhauer, he is called the philosopher of pessimism. Yet his pessimism is not despair. It is a clear gaze into the dark corners of human nature and the world. And from that darkness, he still turns to the light, seeking ways to help people live more wisely and more happily. In his final work, The Wisdom of Life, he spoke of happiness for the first time and affirmed that to live a happy life is not to chase happiness, but to escape suffering. How then do we escape suffering? This road less traveled is for souls who wish to awaken, who are willing to keep their distance from noise, pleasure, and luxury. This book was written in the 19th century, yet its ideas fit our era. People use parties and networking to hide spiritual poverty. They heap up material things to fill an inner pit. As Shakespeare wrote, the richer the inner life, the less one is swayed by external things. Those who possess inner value and abundance find a complete fulfillment. They need not sacrifice themselves to the demands of others, nor abandon themselves to belong to the crowd. By contrast, the mediocre drown in social bustle and compromise without end. When you understand his philosophy, you realize that people with rich inner lives often find it hard to blend into the crowd. Those who seem a little odd because they enjoy solitude, even considered eccentric, may well be pioneers holding the password to happiness. Now please listen to a love and life share titled, The Richer the Inner Life, the Harder to Fit In, through the classic The Wisdom of Life by Schopenhauer. You will remain in pain if you miss the paradox of the pendulum. Schopenhauer said that the happiness of humankind faces two ancient enemies, pain and boredom. Life swings like a pendulum between these poles, either suffering or tedium without escape. Poverty breeds pain. Abundance breeds boredom. For most people, the pendulum never rests. On one side is the pain of lack when we struggle with bread and rent, when the heart thirsts for love and recognition, when the soul longs to be understood. On the other side is the dullness of plenty when money is enough and goals are reached, yet meaning is missing and emptiness remains. The pendulum slides from one extreme to the other, never settling at balance. The bob of the pendulum is the symbol of human desire. When unsatisfied, we burn with anxiety. When attained, we freeze with emptiness. We yearn for what we do not have, then tire of what we have gained. Today, people sink into the game of the dopamine loop. When you crave a goal, dopamine rises and drives action. When you achieve it, dopamine drops and leaves you hollow. Then the brain urges a new goal to raise dopamine again, and you repeat the loop. Ask yourself the items you bought with a thrill. Did their joy fade soon after they were in your hand? This loop makes you live like Tantalus in Greek myth, punished to stand in clear water that slips away each time he bends to drink. Truly, we need money and goods to live, but the effect of material things on happiness is not in the size of the number. Social psychology shows that income at 0 and at 1,000 has a huge difference in life quality, though only 1,000 apart. If you have no money, you cannot live, but income at 1 million and at 100 million may differ by 99 million, while happiness scarcely changes. Once basics are secure, chasing 100 million or a billion will not raise happiness in the same proportion. It becomes a bottomless jar. Modern research on hedonic adaptation confirms the insight of Schopenhauer. People think they are running forward but remain in place. Science concludes that when you buy a house or win a promotion, you feel a brief lift, then you return quickly to your baseline. Desire kills happiness. You know this, but ask yourself honestly, are you the pendulum? Do you always feel deprived, lacking experiences, unable to travel, unable to taste rare foods, unable to shop freely, unable to advance while others press you down? Or do you have an orderly career and a sufficient life, yet keep seeking entertainments to fill the long plane of time? Are you living like the philosopher said, like a thirsty man at sea? The more you drink, the saltier your mouth. Which way are you swinging? Whichever side you choose, you will carry traits of the other. Life becomes a hollow acrobatics of gain and loss. Schopenhauer and other sages point to one exit. If you live as a pendulum, you will never be truly happy. Do not chase the swing. Do not be shaken endlessly by externals. Instead, turn inward. Live a life rich in the spirit. The price of going against the current, when you choose inner wealth over outer wealth, the price of pausing the hunt for material gain to cultivate the inner life is this. The richer your inner world, the harder you may seem to fit in. Schopenhauer said that the more a person possesses from within, the less he needs from the world and the less others matter to him. Many who own a rich inner world do not easily blend with others. Society runs on shared conventions, from how we speak to how we measure success. When you live true to your spiritual needs, you step out of that stream. You cease to seek your worth in the eyes of others. You gain the courage to be different in life, in thought, and in the values you defend. You decline empty gatherings. You say no to wasteful drinking. You keep silent before idle gossip. You end toxic ties. You do not chase trends. You do not work merely to pile up money and rank. All this makes you a strange one in the eyes of many. They may say you are aloof or weak because you do not meet the crowd's rules, but so-called hard to fit in does not mean cold or antisocial. It means you no longer spend time on what does not fit you. You refuse outings not from contempt, but to read, to meditate, to write. You skip the rat race and the perfect KPI, not from laziness, but to focus on meaningful work. You lose shallow ties and gain deep connections with others and with yourself through honesty to your core. Schopenhauer is a clear case. Born into a great merchant family, wrapped in velvet from youth, he did not scorn money. He admitted that money frees us from the burden of survival, but the rest, is decoration for pride. Family wealth let him study philosophy without earning a living, yet he would not trade inner freedom to be the model heir. While society expected him to continue the business, he chose to write about the human condition, a lonely and doubted road, yet true to his nature. Imagine you receive a fortune on the condition you work a job you do not love for life. You could do it, but each morning you would meet a blank in your heart. Would you accept? The answer depends on what you call wealth. For Schopenhauer, material wealth is an endless target for those who lose themselves. True wealth is inner abundance. Our age praises sociability. A sociable person is called open, friendly, easy to blend, no separation from others. Yet if you blend too much into the crowd, you cannot harmonize with yourself. Blending is not the same as harmony. Blending without honesty becomes false belonging. When you force yourself into empty acts, laugh politely, keep ties based on gain, trade away principles to be liked, friendliness becomes flattery. Real friendliness is a sincere smile for the street cleaner, but a refusal to dine with the corrupt. It is to listen deeply to a stranger, yet never feign agreement against your conscience. Social contact is necessary, but it should be the honest touch of souls. True communication, that is real sociability for a rich inner life. The secret of wise living is to waltz with the world, advance, then retreat, then turn, yet never lose your inner rhythm. A person of inner wealth does not reject society. He redefines connection, first by a true connection with himself. How to live a life rich from within. When a person turns to inner wealth, two things happen naturally. First, desire is simplified, unnecessary wants are reduced, and trouble lessens. Adults lose themselves in the forest of wants. Yet a baby in the arms of the mother needs milk and sound sleep and smiles with contentment. Schopenhauer said that to stop chasing desire, we must first let go of worries about the future and regrets about the past. Enjoy the present. Thoughts about the past, like, why did I not seize that chance then, only add regret. Worries about the future, like, if I do not buy now, prices will soar. If I grow old without money, how will I live? Only ruin mood and focus. He advised that for outcomes not yet here, we should live as if they will never arrive. Do not let tomorrow and yesterday steal the breath of today. He did not ask us to renounce all possessions. He reminded us that true freedom begins when we know the line between real need and vain craving. After that, the social game loses its hold. Let money serve the spirit rather than make you a prisoner of your own desire. Next, know what you want to do. From youth, Schopenhauer sensed his path. He said that one who feels a calling planted in the heart will work like a bee building its hive to fulfill that fate. A truly rich inner life belongs to those who know what they want and keep at it. To reach such clarity, we need discipline and knowledge. Only then can we see what fits us and create value from our work. In his first years at university, he built a wide base across physics, physiology, botany, anthropology, and law. His notebooks are full of affirmations, denials, doubts, and reflections. He learned languages and mastered several, keys that let him read the classics fully. Books are a small world. The non-reader lives only one life. He read widely in philosophy and literature and treated books as companions for dialogue with the greats. Through steady learning and note-taking and critical thinking, he understood himself and saw his mission early. To know oneself is the first gate to freedom. Whatever your age or field, it is never too late to know yourself deeply and wholly. Read, train skills, change how you learn, explore interests and strengths. When you understand yourself, you know what you do well and what role you are meant to play. Then you give your best for the work itself, not for rank or money or petty wins. Then, make time for creative solitude. Schopenhauer is called the father of the philosophy of solitude, not because he worshipped loneliness, but because he saw that only in quiet can the mind create and grasp the nature of life. He declared, "Either solitude or mediocrity. We have two choices. Dare to be alone to nourish wisdom, or dissolve into the crowd as a pale copy." Creative solitude is not forced isolation. It is a free choice to step away from noise to hear the inner voice. He spent long hours alone in his study to read, to write, and to converse with philosophers on the page. That clarity let him see the nature of desire and the absurdity of the human lot, and to write enduring works. So let quiet moments hold you. Spend more time alone, listen to your breath, savor solitude. In stillness, the inner life can grow, and you can discover your hidden strength. Do not be too happy or too sad about anything. Our judgments about good and bad are often illusions. Many have despaired over one event, only to find later it was a great blessing. Others rejoiced over success, only to find it became the seed of suffering. Life is impermanent. Good and bad are often momentary views. Some wept dry tears over a broken love, yet years later they saw a doorway to growth. Others were happy with promotion, yet the new pressure led them to depression. Schopenhauer did not preach apathy. He urged us to let go of clinging to immediate results. See each event as a link in a long chain of cause and effect. The important thing is to keep a calm mind. Do not be swept away. When joy comes, do not soar too high. When sorrow comes, do not drown. Only then do we resist the pull of externals and walk steadily inward. Finally, a classic line: a healthy beggar is happier than a sick king. Health is the base of all things and of the journey toward inner abundance. The greatest folly is to sacrifice health for any other happiness. Ask yourself, are you working now to buy future medicine? Are you making yourself a slave to job and money? Then using that money to fix a body that is breaking? Or more simply, how many hours have you sat without standing up? Did you stare at your phone late last night and sleep late? How long since you woke early to exercise, to breathe fresh air, to greet the sun? What did you eat this week? Is your body speaking while you ignore it? Youth is for learning wisdom. Age is for practicing it. Yet we often reverse them. We ruin health in youth to gain wisdom. We cannot use an age without health. Everything else is nothing. Without health, flowers are only reflections in water, and the moon only a face in a mirror. If you do not yet have firm habits for health, no steady exercise, no wholesome diet, no natural sleep rhythm, no time outdoors and in sunlight, you will not escape the endless pendulum of suffering. Only in a healthy body can wisdom shine. These are core principles on happiness, distilled from Schopenhauer on nurturing a rich inner life. I have tried to present his deep ideas simply, yet there is no single road to an inner world. Each soul has a way. The thoughts in this book are a map. Many other paths can enrich us, such as mindfulness meditation, which Schopenhauer practiced in long, quiet sittings, though he did not call it by that name, and the creation of art, which in the world as will and representation, he likened to an antidote for human suffering. From our century, we see his philosophy coming true. An age of surplus things with a barren spirit. Blank faces scrolling on subways. Ceaseless cries to buy in endless live streams. The rise of fear of missing out. Crowds squeezing into festivals. Curated lives that prove one is living while the mind sleeps. Rivers of textile waste. Closets full of clothes with nothing to wear. Faces hidden behind perfect filters. People discard their real features to become ideal images. New age sicknesses like burnout and anxiety spread as an invisible plague, revealing inner poverty amid desire and pressure. A wellness fever grows, money spent on retreats and costly cleanses, but the soul remains uncleansed of craving and rivalry. Travel explodes. People rush to wonders to check in but never pause to feel earth and sky. Life speeds up. Fast meals delivered to the door. Fast loves on swipes. Children in elite schools who cannot sing a folk song. Now the age of artificial intelligence in smart cities, from transport to medicine, from essays to content. People lose the skills of direct dialogue and independent thought. They borrow machine intelligence to race time and make more money. One day, they look back and see that dependence has made them a beta version of the very technology, existing to operate rather than to awaken and feel. Many lives repeat the pattern of a material society. Study, work, marry, climb, earn, heal, and die, then begin again. Yet amid the current, many awaken and choose another way. They turn inward, build inner wealth, sit in meditation at dawn, live simply, enjoy being alone, read with full focus, keep learning, guard independent thought and inner stillness, dig into philosophy, explore spiritual science, serve the community, and live with gratitude and generosity. They differ from the crowd, but they can harmonize with earth, with beings, and with themselves. Their hard to fit in is not a disorder. It is a conscious choice after seeing the nature of life, like a snow lotus that can bloom only on a high peak, not in a city garden. These rich souls have their own path, a path not meant for the many. And you, which path will you choose? Give yourself a quiet moment to reflect now. I will be here to hear your true answer. If you found this helpful, please share it with those who need it. Leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the bell to catch each new weekly video. Thank you, and see you in the next videos.